This is Richard back at you. Today we got Donald's 480E in the house today, all the way from Amarillo, guys. Can you believe that? This man drove a long ways to get here. Now, actually, he's a pretty good friend of ours. He brings all of his work and stuff to us. So this is his, out of his work truck. He says he wants it by Monday, and today's Friday. Man, am I a friend. But anyway, it's an early model. You can see here, it's got the two cooler lines up in the front instead of the one in the back. We do have an ear broke off on the case. He does have the piece. Trent's going to weld it back on for him. We'll get that straightened out too. Now if you notice here, it is a GM remanufactured, so it has been rebuilt before by GM. Now no updates are usually done by GM when they rebuild them or anything like that, so you just get what you get. Now this is a bolt-on style yoke. It physically has a bolt that holds it on. Turn it, it's stuck on the shaft a little bit. Mercy. Got quite a bit of wear in the yoke area. Looks like it might have had a lot of rust in it. I don't know. Wasn't easy to get off there for sure, was it, Teresa? Now we do have our input and output speed sensor. Now he said this thing just started pouring out the front. He said the front seal was laying on the converter when he took the converter out. So it's got a lot of mud on it. That is nasty. So we're going to have to get a transmission mount for this. It's broken. I don't say there's anything left of that one. Now this is a pressure bushing here. We actually have fluid pressure going in here and lubricating the bushing back here in the back. Really good idea GM did right there, let me tell you. I don't even think the pan's been removed on this at all. So that does that every time I drain my bucket, we tear trannies down. Well, let's see what this looks like, guys. Hey, there's a foreign object in here.
I'd say so. I wonder where that came from.
Huh. When you get a remanufactured tranny from Dodge, they give you a spare bolt. That way, if one falls out, you have one to put back in.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, there it goes. It goes down here in your reversed servo area. Now, this is an early model tranny. You got to remember that, guys. The later versions have 4 dimples on here to keep the filter off the deep pan, or it actually has a deeper pan. So, early model filter. Now we have an early model pressure control solenoid 2, totally different plug. We have our PWM solenoid here. Get this stuff out. Now we will be putting a Transgo kit in this here. They have really bad problems about high pressure issues when they get some age on them. And we want to eliminate that problem. Now this is our lube tube here. It lubricates the rear tail housing bushing and the case bushing here in the back. So they bring it all the way from the front all the way to the back. Now the later version, they have a tube that comes from here to here, a little bitty tiny one. And we have our temp sensor here. Then we have our pillow switch. And then we have our shift solenoids. Now these are 2 different solenoids. They actually have 2 different plugs, you can see of course, but the bolt-in tabs are different too, so you can't get them mixed up. So basically the bracket is different on the ends. So. These are all 10 millimeter here. These are all the same length. Even the one that is for your park retainer. Now this one here, of course, is shorter. And then you have your 8 millimeters here. So you can see the difference in the size of the head of the bolt here. So the 8 millimeters are only for your pillow switches. So I was really expecting to see a lot more trash in the pan on this thing.
Yeah, I was a little surprised.
Me too. Now you're going to see, a lot of times you're going to see wear on these plates here, on these 480Es, right through here. You can see the ball. Now we'll go back with the rubber balls that like the 4080REs have, stuff like that. Now if we want this tranny to shift a little firmer, we'll be modifying this hole here, and this hole here. If you get on the internet, you can go to Sonax's webpage and they'll give you drilling instructions and stuff like that to firm up this tranny. I found that page. It's a really good page. It's called Surfing the Web. Hey, we learn stuff every day. And you have your accumulator. Now you notice, being the early design, we have springs and we have this piston here like this, but we have this spring and piston here. You don't see that in the front of the rear lube versions. And you have these springs like that. So it's easy for that to fall out. So it's pretty simple. The long spring always goes to the right. You remember that. Like I say, your shift kit, your Transgo kit, it's going to give you a lot of things to do this valve body for high pressure issues and stuff like that. So also, And every one of these that we do, we'll put a Sonax Tcc valve in here. It comes with 2 different springs for a little bit firmer for performance, or your stock converter lockup feel. The valve comes with a Teflon O-ring on it for better sealing if you have any bore wear or anything like that. It's a must in this unit right here. A must. So, some of our oil leaked by Teresa.
Yep.
Okay, we have all of our check balls here. You can see them here. If you notice, you can put one there, but there is not one there. It's a pretty little pocket for one. You could just slide it right in there. Doesn't that look good? Looks real good, doesn't it? But it doesn't go there. So just remember, you can get on places your shift or your overhaul kit. Your instructions inside will have instructions where these check balls and stuff go. So, and then here's your engine brake band servo here. Make a couple different variations of this too, from early to late. You want me to do some air checking, Teresa? You got your suit on?
Yeah, but you're still not doing air checking.
Okay. So here's your wiring harness. We got a new wiring harness over there going in it. We just don't trust these. It's not leaking, but as old as this train, as bad as it looks, it's got to have a new wiring harness. So, well, you can see here where our bolt was come out. The threads look in there and stuff, look good. It's just, might have missed it, or that one felt tight. That one felt tight. They feel snug. And then you have your reverse servo here. 3rd gear accumulator. Now your kit will come with a soft O-ring or a Teflon ring, just depending on which piston you have, so you want to check that out. And we have our Overdrive Clutch apply bolt hole. The bolt is hollow, so fluid pressure goes through here to apply your Overdrive Clutch. And then we have our case support bolt. And it's a hollow bolt too. Pretty simple. We have all of our park linkage and stuff here. Okay, just pretty simple. Locks in. Now you do have an O-ring on the output shaft right here that keeps fluid from leaking out the yoke. Get that off there. Your overhaul kit will come with a new one. This old train is dirty. I'm going to let a little bit of this oil go into the bucket. There's a lot of oil in this train. And let me tell you, this thing has a smell from you wouldn't believe. It's amazing how bad a transmission can smell, huh, Teresa? I mean, it's amazing. And we have our lockup O-ring here. Kind of quieten that down again. And your kit will come with a new one. This is all squared up. It ain't even round anymore. So we are keeping our fingers crossed we have no hard part damage. So we don't know why it blew out the front, what he was doing. I'm sure Mr. Donald was towing something probably heavy. No. Not Donald. He's building a really nice turbocharged truck right now. Look in here. dang it. See, this thing probably come off the back of the motor. We really don't know what happened to this, but here you can see here the pump body is just destroyed where the pump gears have been shoved into it. You can see it's just wore plumb out. These pumps are so expensive for these things, guys, that the pump's worth more than the tranny. So the body looks good. Here, put some new gears in it, and we saved that, but we're going to have to put another pump stator assembly in here. Now this is an early design. It doesn't have the marking across it on the earlier or the later versions I showed you in some of my videos, how to identify early and a late model pump. We have our overdrive planetary here and our forward sealing rings and stuff right here. Got this little snap ring and your forward sealing rings here. They say all the rings get replaced. Now this should have a roller style, and it does, sprag assembly. It's a real early design, so basically check here for any wear, Scotch-Brite it up, check here for any wear, any wobbling in your pins or any purpling or anything like that. Here's your sprag assembly. We have our engine brake clutch. Now on this here, we're going to mainly, since this sun gear is so tiny, we're going to be looking here on the back side and the front side of this gear for any type of wear. 90% of these drums have to be replaced. I mean, it's just a thing that happens. So, then we get our overdrive clutch out here. So he's going to have to check and see if he's got a broken flywheel, something like that, because there's something else going on. And here you go, guys. This is a really tough item to put back together. You got two sets of seals here. Little tiny lip seals. You got another one down in here. So, if you ever take this apart, be prepared, especially if you're doing this at home. You could be in big trouble. You want to check this bushing here for any type of wear. Always replace it no matter what. But what happens is this bushing planetary wears and lets this shaft start rubbing down in here where these rings run at right through here. This drum looks really good. I don't see any wear, but like I said, most of the time this is wore out right through here, completely wore out. Always check your bearings. Now this is the forward clutch right here that moves the vehicle forward. Now we do have a aluminum piston, and this piston right here, guys, is ones you want to check for cracks. So when you put this back together, you would definitely want to air check it and look all the way around there for any type of cracks. Like I say, this tranny is capable of making 600 pounds of pressure, and the Transgo kit they give you is designed to eliminate that and to protect this tranny from breaking parts. So always put one of them in there too. You can see here we got a lot of wear on the thrust washers. The forward hubs wore out here, big old rut. Hey. It's a cheap one, it's not your good one. And so he's not going to be racing this or anything, he's just going to be towing his trailer and stuff with it, I believe. It's your third clutch here. High reverse is what they call it. Same way here. You want to check this aluminum piston for any cracks, because I'm telling you, they crack. And then you want to come in here and look at the sprag assembly. Now you can see here, this is the good drum if the race is in good shape. It just has a cheap sprag assembly in it. We'll put the 34 element updated sprag in here and get rid of that little junky thing. Main thing here, look for any chattering. That looks really nice. No chattering at all. Scotch-Brite's your friend, guys. Even down in here where your sealing rings run, Scotch-Brite's your friend. Clean all that up. So, same way here. This outer race, you want to look for any type of wear, any chattering marks or anything like that. So, now, on your bushing kit, remember this is a front loop to rear instead of rear to front. So, it lubes down the center of the shafts. So all your bushings are going to be solid. Now, if it was a later version that lubed from rear to front, these bushings would have notches in them, so the oil can go around the bushings. Now we have our engine brake band here. Now this is the tiny band. It's the same as a 400. It'll fit right in a 400 and stuff like that. The later versions, the band's about that wide. A lot bigger band. Now we do have our intermediate clutch here. 4 clutch kit. Looks really good. And then we have our beveled snap ringers. Just remember the bevel goes up, and they're just like that. And here's our support here. Now we do have a brass washer down in there. Now this brass washer is selective, and you can set your in clearance up from here to the back. And then you can set your in clearance up from the front, from your support to the front, forward. So, but this washer here is selective. So you have your Teflon rings here. So this center support does take the same bushing as a 400 transmission. When you get to the rear loop style, the bushing has been changed. Same way here, we want to look at our planetaries, make sure our pins ain't moving out. If your pins start moving out, you'll start seeing wear on this washer right here. And actually these pins are moving. And I'm going to show you how you can identify that real easy. And get this cleaned off a little bit better. Do you see how this washer's been shaved from here out to here? All the way around. If you notice, the washer's brand new here. Mm-hmm. But that shaving right there is being done by one of these pins.
Yeah, you can see it.
And I believe, I can't tell, I have to get my glasses on to see which pin, but you can see this one right here, how shiny it is from here to here. Mm-hmm. That's what this pin has moved this direction and is shaving this washer off right here. Yeah. Now what we'll do, we'll take and put these pins, we'll take a punch and put this pin down farther back where it's supposed to be, and then we'll come in here and then we'll TIG weld these pins solid where they can't ever move again. Trent's really good at that, so we do every one of them that way. But you can see here, this washer's no good. Just put a metal washer back in there, but the planetary is still good. Pins ain't purple. Check for any teeth wear, or any thrush washer wear, or anything like that. So, pretty simple. Now you can see here, we do have a little bit of park wear on the planetary. Looks like somebody likes to put it in park before they come to a stop. Or somebody done it accidentally or something like that going down the road, and this is what happened. So is it ruined? No. What I'll do is look down in here, look at our pin, make sure our pin that clicks in here isn't wore too. As long as the pin's still getting down here deep in the groove, then the planetary will be fine. Like I said, to me it looks like somebody shoved up in park going down the highway. So it's hard to tell. Or somebody just likes to put it in stop in park before they come to a stop all the time, like daily. So you can see here we have a thrush washer here. So. And we have our output shaft here. Your kit will come with 2 or 3 different bushings here, so just pick the one is right for it. And then we have 2 tungsten bearings here. Just take them apart, look at your races, make sure they're not falling apart. Same way here. Now being that this is a front loop style, it doesn't have the notches in here like the rear loop style. Remember that, guys? In some of my other videos I talk about that bearing, how critical it is, how these shafts are critical. So like I say, the later version, this shaft is solid, where these are hollow. So there's a lot of difference in the front loop and the rear loop for LAE. Same way with your planet here, you want to look for pin wear. We don't see a lot of these pins moving around, mainly just in that other planet. Still, you want to look here too, just all the way around these things. Look on your back of your ring gear for any wear. Same way in here, look for any wear on these ring gears there. So we're replacing almost 90% of these sun gears in these units. They're getting pretty hard to get. I'm buying them by the dozens. So, and they do make 2 different versions. Early has a 2 groove. Late has a 4 groove. And we don't interchange them, so make sure you always put the right one back in there. Not too bad. Gonna be a job, pretty nasty, but something we enjoy doing, definitely. Teresa, I want to thank you for videoing again today. And he's already hightailed it out of here too, so it's almost lunchtime. We all have a beautiful day, great day, definitely. Don't forget to subscribe, push that like button. Definitely more to come. Y'all have a great day.